Hello, hello. Good morning. Hey Stefan, how's it going, buddy? I'm sitting outside. I got a nice view in the back. It's the gun show. Bro, we got the big guns coming soon. Very big fan of hers. I'm just gonna send her a message. Hey Hannah, how's Sydney? Oh, are you in Sydney? I've decided to finally sit outside because balcony I got screamed at. I live with roommates, so I can't be disturbing them. So I'm like in like a common area. I'm running out of options, guys. I'm running out of options. Yes, Sydney. Sydney is worse than Melbourne, I've heard, especially with the number of cases in NSW. We're having Otara on, man. Oh, she's here. Let me time because I'm sure she has enough to do. Hello.
Hello there.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How have you been, Otara? I see that you had a busy morning feeding some street dogs as well. How did that go?
Yeah, it went good. There are some very hungry dogs in the street, so we go every morning
Yep.
and feed them as many as possible. Of course, there are many more, but we do what we can.
Yeah. Of
And there's
course, and
one
I
right
think
behind
more
me,
people are doing
Lola.
this as well as much as they can. I know,
Oh, part
I
of
know.
her.
Is that Lola? Is that Lola?
That's
Is that
Lola. That's
Lola
her
behind
cat.
you?
She's sleeping across.
I knew
Yeah, yeah, she's sleeping on
it.
the sofa. Lola,
So
Lola. No, she's sleeping.
no.
Some
So
dogs have
actual
it better than
actual
others.
fun fact. I visited an adoption day 7 years ago,
Hey,
and
Nico.
I
Yep.
adopted a dog from Embark. Uh,
That's Nico. Hey,
hello,
sweet.
so
That's
cute.
my first street dog, Nico.
Oh,
Sorry to interrupt you.
so
Yes.
no, that's all right. Like, I'm more than happy to be interrupted by dogs, like 100%. But 7 years ago, I went to an Embark adoption day and I adopted a dog from there and I named her Lola.
Ah,
So,
thank you. That's wonderful. Oh,
yeah,
really? Two
yeah,
Lolas. Oh, that's
exactly.
wonderful.
Otara,
Thank you so
I
much for
am
adopting.
so honored to have you on. My mom and I have been big fans of you. I've had dogs since I was a little kid, and we've
Oh,
always
thank you.
adopted street dogs as well.
It's a pleasure to be
Thank you for
here.
making time. I'm sure you have like enough to do. But for the people who are joining us, this is Otara Gunewardene. She's the founder of the Otara Foundation and also Embark. She's an animal rights activist, a mom, and obviously a mom to four dogs at home as well. But Otara,
Seven.
how have you? Seven dogs. Never
Seven, yeah.
mind. uh,
Seven here,
but how
yeah.
have you been, Otara? How have you been coping with everything that's going on? How are you at home as well?
Yeah, we're all okay, and it's what to do, right? We have to follow the rules and stay home as much as well, stay home really. We just go out a little bit to feed the dogs, that's all. But otherwise, we're all home. And yeah, we have to stay safe for everyone else, really. And it's not only about us, it's not always thinking just about us and keeping ourselves safe, but we shouldn't spread it to others. So we have to keep think about that as well. Stay safe at home for others as well. So
Absolutely. Otara, like I've known your story for a very long time where you used to sell clothes from the boot of your car and then you built an empire and then you finally decided to focus on Embark and focus on animal rights. Where did your love for dogs and fighting for right causes come from? Was that something that you grew up with or was that something you saw the problem that street dogs had in Sri Lanka and you just decided to take it upon yourself?
yeah, I've always loved animals from my childhood. From whenever I could remember, I actually just loved the environment and animals, and I've always believed that we have to live in harmony. We have to be kind to all, not just people. And if we're not kind to animals as well, that one day we will have to pay for it. And I think that day is here. I've always believed that, and actually, I started my business. I started selling clothes from the boot of my car to raise funds to help elephants in Sri Lanka, for conservation of elephants. And I thought if I can raise enough funds, I can actually contribute to the wildlife department at that time. So this was like 30 years ago, to help them protect elephants. And that's why I started. And I started with like 4 or 5 T-shirts with the monkey, elephant, crocodile, and monkey, because I just love the wildlife of Sri Lanka, and I wanted to help to protect them. And that's why I actually started selling clothes to raise funds for that. And then, of course, it took a whole different journey. And it was something that I continued to do throughout Odell. And, I continued to create awareness for the environment and animals. And then after many years, I thought, I should just focus on one thing and try to bring big change to one thing rather than doing many little things. And then I thought that's when I saw the street dogs, and it was also just when I had adopted Nico, and I thought, how come that we don't pay any attention to them, and how come we don't care enough for them, and we just ignore them when we drive by. And I was one of them as well, until Nico. Like we were never taught, to love all. And look after the street dogs as well. And that's why I wanted to do it, and that's why I started Embark.
Amazing, amazing. And I think you're doing amazing things. Like, for example, I want to bring up the animal welfare bill because so many people are striking and trying to make a difference as much as they possibly can. What are your personal thoughts about the government's part in playing for the animal welfare bill? Because we as individuals do so much. See,
Yeah.
we try and do as much as we possibly can to conserve both environmental and animal rights. But what do you think about the animal welfare bill, which has not been passed yet?
Yeah, so this has been over 10 years in the making, and the original teams that did it. I was not involved at all in doing the bill, because I was very much part of Odell at that time. But I know that the people who are involved and who were involved and who are still involved in trying to push it through. So I mean, they're still trying to push it through, and it was subsequently that, I joined in just trying to help to create more awareness and of how important it is, and trying to get it passed. So it is unfortunate that a country like Sri Lanka doesn't respect and think that, it's the animals have equal right to humans, because really those are our roots of Buddhism, and how we were brought, how things were in the past. And I think it's really time to do that, for to activate it and to pass it. And there's always something that comes up that makes it lag behind and get ignored. But it really needs somebody who it's not a difficult thing to push through. It's come to a very close place at the end, where it just needs a little bit of of pushing through, to get it passed. But it doesn't happen for different reasons, that keep coming up. And it really requires people who are committed to wanting to make a difference for the animals in our country. Because, it's not just about the animals, it's about the people too. When people commit acts of cruelty, there's something wrong with the people as well. And it's a very, very common occurrence. Like just now, there's a dog that we are trying to help, and it's very difficult these days to help. The vets are with limited facilities and services. A mother of 2 pups has gone out to get some food, and somebody has bashed her in the face, and she's all bleeding in the face. And now I'm trying to see how to where that dog is, because it's just on Facebook. So things like that, and it happens all the time. I know there are certain big cases that everybody sees, but in the work we do, we see something almost every day. Like yesterday, somebody had cut a dog's back for fun, in another place where someone was feeding. So things like that. So I must say, on the other side, there's a lot of kindness and change happening, but this cruelty continues, every day, and things like that. So The animal welfare bill is not just about the animal, it's about the consciousness of the people in this country. It's about making people kinder, making people more compassionate, and teaching people to live in harmony with Mother Nature's creation, and which we are part of as well. And until we realize that, they're just going to have so many lessons to go through, and to understand the importance of living in harmony with the natural environment and all the beings that were given by Mother Nature to us to live on this planet. It's a lesson that we are facing every single day, and it's the one we are facing now as well.
Amazing. And I agree, it takes all of us to make a difference. Like we all have to, it doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter the amount of following you have in terms of social media or in a social status. Like it takes all of us to come together and try to make a difference.
Yeah.
And I also want to ask, obviously there's other organizations of youth like Extinction Rebellion who are standing up for animal welfare. There's Tales of Freedom. There's so many other people and organizations who are standing up as well. Are their voices being heard? That's my main concern when I think about people standing up. Obviously, I've attended these strikes. I've attended these strikes in Melbourne as well.
Mm.
But what do you personally think of the youth raising up and trying to raise awareness as much as they can?
Well, I mean, I think now more than ever, it is being heard, and there are steps, like at least there are like slight improvements you can see. It's being discussed. They're having meetings. They're calling animal welfare people for meetings. Things like that. It is happening. It is being heard, definitely much more than before. And it is not one person that is going to change the country or to change the world. It is each and every one of us. We live in a world where we are so conditioned to believe that it's one person, that is one leader, that is one somebody that's going to create this great miracle when they come into power, or when they are, or whoever it may be, that can come and change everything. But it will never be the case. It's each and every one of us who has to create change every day and act to make the difference that we want to see happen in this world. If you think the dogs are not being fed, go out and feed them. If you think the people are hungry, go out and feed them. Until we all do that, it's not one person. You can't point the finger at one person to get them to change the world. It will never happen. It's each one of us changing our consciousness. Each one of us is caring for each other, people and animals and the environment. That's the way we change the world. And so the youth, I hope, I know they seem to understand that a lot more these days, and I see that change happening, and it's wonderful. Yes, one person may be able to lead them, but it's not one person that can change the country or change the world.
Absolutely. And I just wanted to touch on because you're such an inspiration. You've worked so hard to build what you've built today. I want to touch on a little bit about like what your journey was. So, for example, my mom's in the chat. She's commenting away and watching us talk right now.
Hey, ma'am.
She's she's obviously so backstory about my mom was she went through domestic abuse at a very young age, and she got the "I told you so's" and the way to live her life, and she never really got to pursue it. But she obviously got her MBA when she was 50, which she's very, very proud of.
Oh, wonderful.
But there's a lot of
Congratulations. Never too late.
yeah. But there's a lot of men and women out there who are trying. They're trying every single day to try and make a difference. But there's a lot of social and cultural stigma that is holding them back or making them very stressed. Mental health is a big issue as well. What would you tell to those men and women who don't necessarily see the light right now?
Well, there's always light where there's darkness. That's the good news. And there's always darkness within every one of us. I mean, we all go through it at some point. Nobody is exempt from that. And it's just having the courage and the strength to go within and bring the light out. And that's what each one has to work on. And we struggle each week, each month with different things. But it's finding the peace within and the happiness within is the only thing that will change your life. It's not anyone else who can say anything or do anything for you. It's you yourself that has to change whatever it is that you want to achieve or what you want to be. And for that, we have to have the love and happiness and the peace within ourselves. It's easy to say, it's hard to do. Um, so with that comes a lot of meditation and, really understanding, and really Buddhism is a great path for that, because the philosophy of that is the whole thing is detachment, and it's not about being it's a way of life. So it's a good thing to actually to learn about if you're in a difficult situation. I mean, you don't have to worry about the fact of the religion part, but it does teach you a lot of good. And yeah, so it's never easy. I mean, my journey has not been, it's been exciting and joyous, and I would never change anything that's happened along the way, even the difficult things. But there have been very, very, very difficult times as well. But I can always tell you that the difficult times have made me stronger, have made me better, and I've always, so far, come out of it a better person, I think. And so I think you should look at whatever adversities, whatever difficulties, and there's always people around you who can support you. They can't change you or bring you the change within, but they can always support you, and it's much needed at different times like this. So yeah, I mean, don't give up hope. There's this, everything passes, right? The good, the bad, everything passes. Everything is temporary, and nothing lasts forever. So I think if you think of that philosophy, and try and not get attached to something that you're going through now. You just have to believe this too shall pass. This too shall pass. Next week it'll pass. Next month it will pass. And a few days, a few months down the road, you may look back and think, I know why that happened. Now I can, yeah, To me, there's always a plan, in our life, and that plan is not ours, and we just need to follow that plan.
Amazing, inspirational. I just wanted to touch on when you went through those dark times. You don't have to talk about the situation in itself, but what did you do to pull yourself out of that? Obviously, did you meditate all the time, like since you were going through those dark times, or what exactly did you do to pull yourself out of it? Because every person is different. How they pull themselves out of it is
Yeah,
different
of
as well.
course,
So,
yeah.
like, if your story could help someone else, that would be amazing.
Yeah, so it's different things at different times. I never did meditation and any of say, the spirituality during my business, during the time of Odell, and it's something I never even thought of. Because everything comes into your life at the correct time as well. Not everybody understands it. Not everybody accepts it into their life, and not everybody can do it really. And it comes at different times, and it often comes, not often, it always comes at the time when you really need it. So, previously, I had a lot of stress during the time of the business for different things, yeah, different reasons. Different things would happen at certain times, which are very difficult times to go through. Even though we didn't have what we have today, we still had things that were very big world changing events that affected the business. You have a lot of people in the business to take care of. Your expenses keep continuing even though the business is not doing well due to some global event or local event. It was through the war. Most of the, many years of my business, the growth was through the war. So there were, days that bombs would go off where we would not have, we would have to be closed, different stressful things. So yeah, I mean, I think it depends on where you are in life. But now, I mean, now in the last couple of years, I've really explored it much more. The spirituality, the meditation, the yoga, the yogic breathing, all that. And I can tell you it's something that everybody needs to explore, because it really helps you, and it really helps you open up to and connect to something higher than yourself, bigger than yourself. Because really, we are just such a tiny speck in this world, and we're just here to do good, while we're here on this earth, help others, help out as much as we can. It's really not about our journey, really. It's about the collective whole and what we contribute to the world as a whole.
Amazing, amazing. And something I want to touch on as well, just to give you a backstory of who I am. I've had a supportive mom. Obviously, she's been through a lot, but she's filled two roles, bringing me up. And mental health was something I didn't really know until like a year and a half ago. I've been through depression. I've been suicidal 3 times. But I never really told her, and when she did find out, I got her response on one of these live sessions. I'll send it to you afterwards. Just look at it if you're interested in having a watch. But I just want to touch on I'm brave enough to talk about it. I don't expect everyone to be brave enough to talk about it, but there comes to a point where you need professional help. So personally, I've been going for therapy for about 1.5 years now, and it's changed my life. It's
Hmm.
absolutely helped me. I'm in a much better place than I was a year and a half ago. And I just wanted to find out from you what you think about the stigma and taboo around talking about mental health in Sri Lanka, and what is your personal opinion on it?
Um, really, there should be no taboo about talking about anything because it's life, isn't it? What each of us goes through and what each of us, and each one goes through different things. It doesn't make anyone bad or anyone having to hide anything, anyone having to, to judge somebody because they're having some, mental breakdown or they're stressed or whatever it may be. I think we just have to be kind and have to be understanding for people. So we shouldn't I don't know how we've built a society where we are scared to talk about, what each one of us goes through. An example of, which again, probably I may not have spoken about it. I don't know. I have spoken about a lot of things. But when I started Odell, I was probably 24, 23, 24. And a few years, like about 2 years later, or during that time while I was starting it and growing the business, I had severe anxiety attacks, severe. And I don't know how I got it or why, but it was so severe that I couldn't even function during most of the times. I was so fearful. I couldn't get out of the house. I just it used to basically freeze me, and I couldn't do anything. But I would want to go to work and do what I had to do each day. So I used to take my mother with me to work, and she used to sit next to me all day while I did my work. Because I was so scared, because I was scared of everything, and I was scared to step out of the house. I was scared. I was dying. I was scared that people would, like so many things, and when you have anxiety, there's nothing that's real, right? Everything is unreal in your head. So, I had to take her to work and have her sit with me and do the work because that was at least the only little thing that would get me through the day. So, and, at that time, yes, I did have to seek help at that time and try and release these fears and the anxiety. And it took me a few years, but eventually I got out of it. But those are the things that each of us go through, and really we should be there to support each other and support as much as we can and help people through these things because really everything's to do with the mind, right? It's your mind plays tricks with you, your mind plays games with you. We have a monkey mind, and really what the meditation does is it stops your mind, going from different to swaying from one place to another to another to another. Half of it, most of it, which is really not real. And that is really why I do meditation a lot now as well, because it really helps you to calm the mind and get peace within. And it's not easy in this world to be to be peaceful within, but